Hi, cruisers. This is Kim from Kim Guymon Travel. I just got back from the River Cruise Expo in Amsterdam, where I spent 4 days exploring 16 river cruise ships and diving deep into what each brand offers. Picking a river cruise isn't just about the brand or the price tag, it's like finding a cruise soulmate that matches your vibe. So let's dive deep into the details. First of all, I am Kim Guymon Travel, and I specialize in crafting custom European adventures for my clients. River cruising is just one of the many ways you can see Europe. I like it personally because you can unpack on a floating luxury hotel and then spend several days floating by some of the most beautiful areas of Europe while eating the most delicious food and going on high quality excursions. Booking your river cruise through a travel advisor is what most of these lines prefer because we take care of you before and after the cruise with all those little details and support that their phone agents really can't offer. You could call them every day and get a different person, but you will always get me. The best part, the price is exactly the same, but you get personalized service from a hands-on professional. And sometimes you even get more than you would from a booking engine, as my relationship with a luxury group often gets my clients extras like onboard credit that you really can't get anywhere else. So let's talk about the categories. I've broken the cruise lines out into 8 different categories. Of course, these are very broad generalizations, but these are some of the differences between the lines that are commonly booked by U.S. cruisers. So first up, most American flavor. And honestly, Viking wins for this. I had lunch on one of their ships during the River Cruise Expo, and I had a delicious, juicy cheeseburger with fries and a side salad. Doesn't get more American than that. I could have also gotten a hot dog. Of course, there were more high-end choices on the menu, but if you aren't an adventurous eater, this line wins for food. Also, Viking cabins have at least 4 110-volt American outlets. There'll be one on each side of the bed, one by the desk, and one in the bathroom. You don't even have to bother with a plug adapter, let alone a special hair appliance. It'll be dual voltage. You can just bring your American appliances and plug them right in. Celebrity is going to be new to river cruising next year, but because they're American and connected with Royal Caribbean, I fully expect them to also cater heavily to Americans. Amma Waterways and Avalon also know their target audience well. Food always has a local or regional flair, but you can always get more common choices like baked chicken and salad on their menus. But if you want a more international experience, then these lines provide more of that. Notice Amma Waterways and Avalon are also on this list. They know they are largely catering to Americans, but they also provide deep cultural experiences to guests. Amadeus stands out here mostly because they attract cruisers from literally all over the world, more so than other ships I've been on. My last Amadeus cruise had people from Taiwan, Africa, Israel, Ireland, Spain, and the US, and even more. Languages on board are English and German, but guests will be from all over. Riviera is a British company that is breaking into the US market, but you'll find quite a few people still from the UK and beyond on their ships. It's not a bad thing, it's just that some people are more comfortable being with more Americans than they are with an international crowd. It's just one of those little things that I unpack for my clients. Next category is high-end luxury. A few lines are catering to the very high-end clients with elevated food and drink, like on the Michelin star level, and extras like butler service. You want somebody to unpack your underwear? You got somebody. Decor will stand out with crystal chandeliers, tufted headboards, high-end artworks, and more. You may get more experts on board for lectures and higher value excursions with less nickel and diming you. And in many cases, the cabins are bigger or you may have fewer people on the ship. All that comes at a cost though, but if you really want a high-end luxury experience, Riverside, Tauk, Scenic, or Uniworld are the ships for you. That being said, there are a couple of options that I believe are good value. I won't say cheaper because river cruising is never going to be cheap. But Amadeus almost always prices better, especially in the spring and late summer than other lines. You do have to pay for excursions, but you have flexibility in choosing from 3 different packages with 3 pricing levels. Or none at all. If you just want to get off the ship and go on your own, you're welcome to do that also. However, Ships don't always stop within walking distance of the cities. Vienna is one example. You'll have to get an Uber to get you into the city. Not hard to do, though. Aside from that, you are not getting anything less than. I've taken 2 Amadeus cruises, and I love their cabins, their ships, their food, and their service. Emerald is similar in that it is the value price sister of Scenic, which sits in the luxury group. But Emerald ships look nearly identical to Scenic ships. There are just some differences in the pricing and what you're going to pay for on board. Everybody sort of has their own activity level, and river cruising is no longer just for the elderly. The cruising crowd is getting younger and younger, and the rivers are starting to get very crowded. Some lines offer more active options than others. Avalon and Amlet Waterways are standouts here. Both have excursions that include biking and hiking. While nearly all lines have bikes for you to check out on board, Avalon and Amma Waterways have bike excursions. While others might be bused to a castle for a walking tour, these 2 lines might have a 15-kilometer bike ride along the river path to the castle for the tour. Make sure you're in shape for that, because on my Amma Waterways cruise, I saw people who probably shouldn't have gotten on the bikes try to do that. While others are bussed up to the hill to visit an abbey, these 2 will tell you to grab the provided alpine walking poles and put you on your hiking boots to walk. Amma Waterways also offers pickleball on their huge double-wide ship, the Amma Magna. And then Amadeus comes in with their popular golf cruise, where golfers get to play some of the most beautiful courses along the rivers, while their non-golfing companions enjoy regular excursions. Best for foodies. This category was super hard because food on all the lines is generally excellent. Honestly, though, I will say that the food really is as good as the chef is. So it really can kind of vary from ship to ship, although we've never had bad meals. Amma Waterways stands out here because they have a dining room in the back of the ship that is called the chef's table, and it's an experience that everybody on board gets to do one night of the cruise. They perfectly pair local and regional food with local and regional wine. Celebrity is reportedly also going to offer 24/7 dining with more than one restaurant, and I've heard that you can order from any menu anywhere on the ship and have it delivered to you. Riverside is generally considered to have Michelin-level food. I wasn't able to eat on their ship while at the expo, so I can't attest to this, but that's the general consensus with Riverside. And Uniworld's food is often reflects the areas where you're in much more than other lines. Although it's pretty much true for all the brands, you will have some meals on Uniworld that are going to be hyper-local. And often, when a ship docks, you'll see the chef get off and go into town and shop to purchase fresh local ingredients every single day. This one's a little hard because river cruising is nearly an all-inclusive vacation. When you add all that up, the cabin, the food, the excursions, the transportation, because really they're taking you from point to point at no additional cost, it really isn't as expensive as it might seem to be on paper. It's pretty much on par with any sort of vacation you might book with all those elements included. That being said, most lines are going to charge you for drinks, your beer, wine, soft drinks, fancy drinks outside of the meal times. You'll be charged for laundry if you need to have it done. And occasionally you get charged for excursions. For example, Viking only offers you one shorter walking excursion per port. You have to purchase others if you want them. And as I mentioned before, Amadeus offers you excursion packages and has nothing unless you purchase them. Scenic and Uniworld stand out here. They're the most all-inclusive. Scenic's position is that you shouldn't have to get your credit card out at all during their cruises. So if you want if you're used to all-inclusive vacations on resorts, these 2 lines stand out for being the most all-inclusive on the river. Best for solo travelers. Solo travel is exploding in popularity, and many companies in the industry are starting to respond. One of the biggest challenges for some travelers, and I've been there, is finding someone whose schedule and budget lines up with yours. And so a lot of people are just deciding to not wait for their friends to make a decision, and they're going out on their own. Riviera really stands out here. They have entire cruises that are nothing but solo travelers, which I think is really cool. On their regular cruises, they also keep a few cabins for solo travelers, and even have a cabin that has a twin bed that is just for a solo traveler. They're also really good at connecting solo travelers on their cruises, so no one feels left out or alone. I've been on cruises where there were solo travelers, and if I see them sitting alone, we often invite them to come sit with us, because it can be kind of a bummer when everybody's sitting together with their traveling companion or friends to be sitting by yourself. But some of these lines are better than others at making sure solo travelers are taken care of. Avalon and Talc are also slightly better for catering to solo travelers, because they offer discounts from their single supplements more often, and they're good at gathering those solo travelers together for socializing. I should have popped Amadeus on the list too. Their lower deck fixed window cabins have just a 15% solo traveler supplement, which is actually pretty low. And so it's a good value if you want to go on your own. So I hope this message has provided you with insight into the intriguing and diverse world of river cruise lines. The similarities among various options are reminiscent of a well-crafted cocktail. And what we've discussed is just the tip of the iceberg. They all kind of mesh together and cross, but I tried to separate them out for their clear differences. While Viking is often recognized as the prominent player in this market because of their extensive advertising, they have spent almost $3 billion on advertising since they started in the 80s. It's important to note that they may not necessarily be the ideal choice for everyone. Visibility does not equate to compatibility, and that's something that's important to know. Doesn't mean the Viking is wrong for you, but it also may not be the best choice for you. When you come to me for a river cruise, we identify your desired destination, your budget, your preferences for activity levels. We'll talk about culinary offerings, any additional perks that I might be able to get, travel dates, and every detail in order to craft your perfect cruise experience and find the line that matches your vibe. And remember, when you come to me, you're not interacting with a booking engine. You're receiving personalized guidance from a travel professional who specializes in river cruising. And I will also offer a complimentary 5-day pre or post cruise itinerary to enhance your vacation if you wish to stay longer. You won't be relying on the opinions of strangers on Facebook groups trying to plan your pre and post, which I see way too often. It breaks my heart because I can make it seamless for you from start to finish. So are you ready to navigate the rivers on a river ship? Please reach out. I am here to help you figure out which line, book it, and then support you until the day you get on that plane and head off to your river cruise. So reach out to me. My contact is at the bottom. I would love to plan your cruise.